call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone had a chance to read the minutes of the last board meeting. Anybody got any corrections we need to make? Seeing none, then I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the regular board meeting September 10th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Then we'll move on to our approval of the general fund vouchers, 76026 through 76102. Wire transfers 181-90097 through 181-90136. And activity fund vouchers 9331 through 9343.
I move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the general fund vouchers as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to our public comment section. And there's none there. Then we'll move on to our new business. Item A, approval of the FMLA leave.
Here, the FMLA leave request in there. One of our staff members is expecting a second child and requesting a leave under FMLA. It's beginning November 22nd. So.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the leave.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the FML leave. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
So are you guys taking over
passes.
the Christmas program?
Uh-oh. Next item of business is item B, approval of a staff hire.
Okay. So we have, it's not a new position. It's the food service position. It's a 2 hours per day position. In the notes, it's the name there, David Corbett, for the part-time kitchen position, 2 hours a day. The vacancy is due to Marlene Runquist's retirement last year.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve Dave Corbett. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business, item C, approval of youth options.
Okay, so youth options, the name has changed beginning of this year, so it's going to be formally known as youth options. Right now it's called early college credit, and then start college now. So it's 2 programs. One for early college credits for the 4-year UW system, and then the start college now is for the tech. So same process that we've been using, where you guys look at the students apply. The one has a letter. Let me just see. So the first one does not have a letter because that student is currently enrolled and they're applying for additional credits, and you can see the credits that they're applying for. And then the second student has a letter, a request that they're as part of the application process, because these are her first. These will be her first credits through this process. So both are recommendations of the admin team and the counseling department that the board approve these courses.
I was wondering why that was.
Yeah.
So the one I already applied or whatever, so it's just additional credits?
Yep.
When can they start this? Like as a junior?
That's a good
Or
question, Mr.
sophomore?
Gills. Do you know?
I think that is junior.
Junior
Okay.
year. And with the first student, you can see they're applying for all those courses, but not all those courses will fit into their schedule, so they won't be taking all of those courses. But they put them in as kind of backups so that they do get board approved.
Is that junior kindergarten?
No.
You got some to sign up already?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. Let's get them done.
He's all on that dairy feeding.
And I see the credit, the number of credits these are worth at the college or school level, post-school level, but I see they're half for the high school credits. They must not measure up to the degree of difficulty on our catalog of classes, or
It's the time, like, like say they meet 3 days a week at WITC, it's a they meet 5
Oh,
days a
sure.
week here for a semester, so.
Yes.
That's fine.
I also included after the applications, the DPI kind of description of everything, if you guys are interested. I know the names changed, but there's also been a couple minor changes to it as well, so if you're interested in looking through that, it's in there.
Nice.
I'll move to approve the youth option sub.
Second. Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the youth options, but before we vote on it, it's nice to see these, but why are there only 2?
We do have 1 or 2 in right now, currently,
That's pretty typical.
but
It
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
okay.
Could we do more, or that's just the interest level?
That's the interest level right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
wondering if that's a
sometimes it's,
financial.
Sometimes it's a scheduling solution that Mrs. Kaler finds for students that are on a path, a career path. If here, calendar-wise, the class doesn't match up, or we can't get it offered a semester or a year when they need it, that becomes a solution where they can pick that up.
We've had students do a full schedule down there where they don't even set foot in the building here, or we've had students do most of their day here and then go back to their schedule, but, it depends on what they want for their, we've had this question a lot over the years, but their level of, activities they're involved in high school too,
Yes.
they kind of give some of that up by going there, so that's kind of a balance and choices some kids make.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a finance thing, because I saw the
No, and
invoices
then-
come through if there was.
Yeah, and then for the district, it comes to about $148 per credit. So per class is, ballpark $444 per 3-credit class for students. So
All right, it has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the youth options signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Then we'll move on to new business D, review of third Friday count.
okay, so third Friday count. So this happens every year on the third Friday in September. We have to take attendance every day, but this is specifically the snapshot that the state looks at. So I meet with both secretary in the main office here, and then over at the elementary. So Mrs. Roble and Mrs. Labrie sit down with me, and we kind of go through everything. So this is a breakdown in kids per grade, and it doesn't reflect what the report says, because the report you only get for the little buggers, the pre-K kids, depending on how your district is set up, we get 0.6 FTE per little body. But we do get, so if you look down, the breakdown is kids that were actually present on that day, but then you also can count them if they were absent, but here either the day after or day before. So our total number is really the number that matters, because even if they were absent on that day, we can still count them if they were there prior to or after. So total district right now, we're at 595 kids. And then you can see the breakdown in elementary, pre-K to sixth grade, we're at 343. Junior high, which is and senior high 7 through 12, which is this building, we're at 252. And then the grades 1 through 12, the only reason I have that is because that's part of the report. They ask for that number too. So
How does that compare to where we were on this third Friday?
I believe
last year?
we're up one student.
Okay.
Which at the elementary I think we're up I think right around 20 to 20-ish kids, but the high school we were down, so it kind of was a wash as far as numbers.
In a bigger class.
Oh, yeah, so I was saying,
And,
when I
yep.
looked, it was the seniors were bigger last year.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Josh, what are our open enrollment numbers in and out?
So open enrollment are right around 50 coming in and high 70s going out. So that has changed a little bit. I think my first year they were almost identical, and then it's kind of gone down a little bit. When you look at the breakdown, like when you look at the individual breakdown of kids, there's usually, for the most part, there's some type of connection I've noticed as far as whether it's staff coming in and out. It's just, the four Ernst kids coming in because I work here, and you kind of look at the open enrolled in, and most of it has to do with, some connection in the district. I mean, there's a handful, a small number that's, for other reasons that I don't know, but for the most part, there's a connection.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lori, but wasn't it not too long ago when the in and out numbers were single digits? Open enrollment in and open enrollment
Like
out?
less than 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
It's always been numbers this high?
20 years ago when you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 0.
I think my first year was about right around 60 in, 60 out, kind of right in that 50, 60 range, but pretty close. I can get those numbers too.
No, I don't need, just
That'd be
food, just
interesting.
food for thought, I guess, or
Yeah.
discussion purposes.
Sure.
Okay.
We're going to be bringing some bigger classes up here, that 4th, 5th, and 6th are fairly
Mhm.
good sized numbers that are going to be rolling. Yeah, it's crazy.
For pre-K, there's a lot in that class too, I believe, right? There's 3 classes.
A little bit
Yep.
bigger, yeah, in the low 40s. And
Pre-K is at 41.
Oh, that's right there.
Yeah.
No. I thought it'd be more than that even. Probably is, some don't go to that even.
we had a couple more than that actually going into the school year. But it's amazing how much movement there is
Yeah.
all the time going on. It's-
I just think it speaks to society a little bit more too. There's more transiency than there used to be when we were growing up,
Right,
So many
to
people
stay.
never left their hometown.
Right.
Mhm.
There's so much more of that, separated families and things like that going on, and they move back and forth.
Yeah, if we could get that 28 back to make it even, I guess it would only be, what, 14 to get it even again? And then add another 14, if we swung that around, that'd be
Yeah.
good for our district.
Start marketing. Every open enroll kid gets a take-home Chromebook.
Yeah.
We're doing that anyway.
All right, next item of business then is item E, review of homecoming activities.
Okay, so
Just before
Yeah.
again.
Homecoming was the week of the 24th, and there was a lot of stuff going on. It was a fun week, but I'm gonna have Mr. Gillis and Mr. Peterson share out on each building.
Yeah. First off, I'd like to start off by thanking Mr. Crawford and the student council. They do a phenomenal job planning this week for us. It's just, there's so many activities to coordinate and things to get all lined up and supplies to order, and they do just an outstanding job for us. The hallways were decorated festively with some Clear Lake School spirit, like always, by grade. They have their area that they decorate. We did have a little twist in weather this year. Normally we would have our outdoor games and bonfire on Monday night, but we got all that rain that was supposed to have been coming, according to the weatherman, and then never showed till the middle of the night. But then we rescheduled, and Wednesday night we ran our outdoor games after lunch. Did 5th and 6th hour, and then 7th and 8th hour we had powder puff out there. The bonfire was very well attended again. Kids are well behaved. Thanks to the Clear Lake Fire Department for volunteering to come out and light it for us and maintain it. And then, of course, the football team came up with a win. That always helps on homecoming. And then we had a dance, and we had over 140 kids from our high school attend the dance. It was probably the biggest dance I've supervised yet for Clear Lake since I've been here. So, kids were well behaved. The DJ did a great job. And then one of the other fun things we have to do is Mr. Crawford lines up a Clear Lake mystery guest, which is kind of a neat twist in Clear Lake that they do this historical thing, and he gives out clues every week, and the kids guess and see if they can figure out who the mystery guest is. So get some Clear Lake history and some alum back in the building. Pep band marched the halls, did a fantastic job in the hallway performing. You probably saw some of the video clips on Facebook if you're a Facebook follower. And we had the parade, and the parade went well.
Who is the mystery guest, Nick?
What's her name, Chris?
Sherry Worth.
Sherry Worth.
Sherry Worth. That's right. Yeah. Good fun. And then she talks at the Pep Fest and rides on a float, and so it's good fun. It was a great week.
I don't know, Mr. Peter, did you have anything?
I'd just add, yeah, the elementary school, obviously it's a more high school focused thing, but the elementary school will try to get the kids to recognize and get in some school spirit. So we do the dress up days throughout the week. Kids have a blast with that. The staff has a blast with that too. So that's probably the biggest thing, the most visible thing we do. And then try to schedule some special events during the week. We had the mobile planetarium come. We usually schedule it during that week just for something fun and different. And the upper wing does some outdoor games on Friday a little bit before the parade. And then the parade, we go down and watch the parade. Several of the kids participate and march in the parade. The rest of them come down and watch. And, you know, there's a lot of connections between the buildings with older siblings and relatives, or, you know, elementary staff who are connections of coaches over here, or athletic directors, things like that, and parents of kids over here. So it's a great connection that way. And just like that parade's a great example of just great teamwork between, you know, the high school building, the elementary building, the police, the village, you know, the businesses downtown, the parents. I mean, just a great example of the community working together to do something fun and special for the kids, and just a great experience for them.
And I'd like to say too, just, you know, there's so many really neat activities at both buildings. You know, typically it is more of a high school focus, but the elementary really gets involved. And I think a good reason to that is because you know, Mr. Peterson and the staff over there. And I know, you know, the high school kids probably won't recognize or don't recognize it now, but I think when they get older, they will, of how much, you know, time and energy gets put into preparing things. You know, there's Mr. Crawford, Mr. Gillis, Mrs. Seiler, Mrs. Peterson, between the stuff going on here and the dance. It's just, you know, especially Mr. Crawford, I mean, he just puts in a ton of time getting all those activities ready for the kids, and a lot of fun stuff happening. And then the late nights, you know, here it's a week long of, you know, something going on every night. And between the admin staff, you know, there's somebody here helping out with that. So it's just a huge thank you to everybody that's involved, and the entire staff, the teaching and support staff in both buildings. I'm really put on a nice week for the kids. It's fun because it'd be a whole lot easier to just not do it and not deal with all the emotions and excitement in both buildings, and because there's a lot of excitements, but it's all good fun. So I thought it was a huge success, and like Mr. Peterson said, kind of ending with the parade, which, you know, involved the entire community, not just the school district. So it was nice to be a part of it. It was a good day for it. Didn't have any rain, so that means it was a good day for a parade. So overall, a good week.
Do a lot of schools do parades for homecoming?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
Spring Valley.
Yeah.
Elmwood does, I know. Plum City doesn't anymore.
I remember when I was a kid. I'm sure you guys do too.
You remember when you were a kid?
Sitting watching that parade. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have one.
Amory doesn't have one.
No.
Oh.
It works well that the school is walking distance from downtown
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Not so
Yeah.
in its own community.
Yeah.
That's close.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on to our next item, item F, discussion or consideration of board retreat.
So you guys talked at the last board meeting, a possibility of October 15th at 5 o'clock. So just wanted to have that back on there, and if that's something that we're going to officially do, and we'll make sure it's posted. And
Are we still all in?
I'm good.
Okay.
You guys want to do it? Do you guys want to do it without Al?
Yes.
I think if we can find maybe some direction that we want to go, then maybe he can help us figure out how to make that happen. And so we give him a little meet before we meet with him again.
Before we meet with him and say. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So what's our agenda then for our retreat? What do we want to talk about?
I think we should talk about this vision.
Yeah,
Some of
that's
the
kind of
stuff
why we
that-
started it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Some of those videos or whatever, that'd be good.
I mean, we could watch that video,
Right.
so we're all on the same
Mhm.
page. And I don't see it being a long meeting, but just being able to work on it a little bit if we're going to meet with him again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm down with it.
then the only other thing that I'd like to throw out there, just go over kind of the policy plan of attack for the remainder of this year as far as how you guys want to move forward with tackling it, because it's going to kind of be a big,
The NOLA.
and all of our new policies. If we kind of go month by month, and I give you a section, and then you kind of read them all on your own, or choose go through them on your own. I think if we do it at a board meeting, it's going to be one long evening.
What were we talking about, breaking that up a little bit, like in groups or something too, possibly? Or
Yeah, so
maybe
each
do it that way.
kind of Neola's suggestion was to go section by section and give you guys kind of
Everyone.
each section prior to a board meeting, and then when we get to the board meeting, you guys can come with questions or suggestions on what to change.
How far are you on it? Or is it
We're pretty much ready to.
Is it done?
Yep. We're ready to go.
Okay, very good. Then we'll move on to our superintendent notes, Mr. Ernst.
Okay. All right. Since our last board meeting, we've had quite a bit of things happening in the district. A lot of fun. We talked about the homecoming stuff. These spring sports are doing really well. I'll get to that in a second. We had Food for America. So we had kids attending a local farm. Mr. Peterson, help me out. Sorry to put you on the spot. Which farm? Because I know you're related.
Farm, my uncle's farm.
Uncle.
Do that.
Uncle Peterson's farm. And then all of the activities with the homecoming, like I said. With sports, we're having successful spring sports here, or I'm sorry, fall sports. We have the football team, our conference champions. They have one more game. If things kind of play out, they'll still be champions, but it could be but hopefully things work out and they're on their own. We had the volleyball team runners up for conference, and then now they're the second seed, which I think means we're going to have all home games here moving forward for the postseason. And then the cross country tournament their conference tournament is tomorrow in Unity, which could be muddy. They say rain is coming, but the cross country team has had tremendous success as well, both from wins and losses, which is not about that, but wins and losses, and then also just from involvement and the kids feeling a part of. It's just really growing. Mrs. Niles is doing a really nice job with the cross country team, and numbers are growing, and they're doing a good job. Then we have a couple things coming up. We have parent-teacher conferences tomorrow night at the high school. Home football on Friday. We have the National School Lunch Week next week. And then, like I said, the postseason games for football and for volleyball. So, that's it.
Good. Thanks, Mr. Ernst. So then I get to thank you guys for coming in. As we slip into contemplated closed session in accordance with WSS 19.85, paragraph 1G, to confer with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or likely to become involved. Discussion of legal counsel. Thanks, you guys. I will pull the board. Nettie?
Yes.
Skip?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Ryan?
Yes.
And yes. We are in closed session. We are in open session. I will entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.